Welcome to Game of Growth, your weekly podcast. I'm your host, Tina, and our today's guest is Fernando Angulo, Head of Communications at SEMrush. Fernando has experience in digital marketing for more than a decade. He's a specialist in competitive intelligence and competitors research and SEO and paid traffic strategies for e-commerce and online businesses. Talking about SEMrush, it's a well-known and reputed SaaS product used by over 6 million marketers worldwide to market their brand online and in a better way. SEMrush has been awarded the Best SEO Software Suite by US Search Awards 2019 and the UK Search Awards 2018. Welcome to the show, Fernando. How are you today?
Oh, I'm fantastic. Thank you for having me here today, and thank you for such nice words.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Fernando. I'm excited to hit this discussion with you. So, Fernando, recently SEMrush has hit marquee figures of 600K users. So, can you tell us your journey so far? What are your roles and responsibilities at SEMrush, and how it became a marketer's favorite tool worldwide?
Oh, yes, I need to correct you there because 600K was around 7 years ago.
Oh,
The last week was 6 million. So yeah, that's a really great number. Having 6 million users subscribed and using SEMrush, that's something fantastic. And the thing is, when you are building your website, your online web page, your online brand page, you need to have different strategies working for you, such as SEO, for example, then content marketing or social media. And of course, you need to learn what is happening if you have really good competitors that are using, for example, paid advertising strategies. And you need to know very well what they are doing, right? So
right.
for having all the knowledge in one single place, we created and developed this platform that enables you to perform better with your online visibility. So if you are a blogger, a big brand, a big corporation, or just a person who is starting, you need to use any of those tools and strategies.
Wonderful. Fernando, some of these stats explain that 78% of consumers will trust a brand if it provides more customized content. Content plays a crucial role in web page ranking and search visibility. So, can you tell us, with your prowess and expertise, is what that the businesses and marketers are not focusing on, and what is it that is being neglected?
Yes, one of the things that most of the businesses are not having these days, because if we ask, for example, a business, and we did this a few times per years, we are asking businesses if they have a content marketing strategy. So most of them, they have it, right? But the problem is that they are not using it. So that is completely useless. And one of the things that they need to take into account here is that when you are creating content, that content doesn't live his own life separately. The content that you are creating, it needs to be as a product. So it's supporting the message that you are sending to your users, that you are sending to your customers. So you need to think about content as a product, as another product that is going to be serving you really, really well. And here it comes the main strategy. So 80% of the time you are working on promoting that content. And 20% of your time you are working on creating that content. So it's very simple and very powerful. 80% of the time, companies need to work on promoting the content, and 20% of the time creating such content.
I agree with you, Fernando. Also, according to Forbes, SEMrush increased its user base by 45% in 2019, which is tremendous. And I would like to congratulate the SEMrush team for that. The platform has more than 8 million monthly website visitors and still counting. So, how did SEMrush achieve such a fantastic number? What are the targeted campaigns or strategies that were built to focus on user engagement and retention?
Yes, I can share with you a couple of strategies that we are following since the very beginning of our life online. So the first one is we are an user-centric company. That means that everything that the users need, wants, we are asking them. We are writing all their problems, their pains, their needs, and then we are developing the tools that can help them to achieve their goals, to solve their problems, and to answer their questions. So we are a company that are evolving immediately or aligned with the user, with the end user, and we are creating conversations around it. So in our main platform, in our main dashboard, if you go to semrush.com, you will see there we have a tool that is called User Voice, where
Mhm.
any user can write their own request. So they need to have a tool that creates content and rank content. Okay, we can build that. But if they're gonna have some votes there, so people are gonna be requesting the same thing, some of our product owners are gonna be taking that in their backlogs. So
Right.
we are a user-centric company. The second strategy is very simple but yet powerful as well. We are depending so much on our users, and we are depending so much in our influencers. We are working with influencer marketing really, really hard.
Mhm.
That means that we want to be there where our conversations, we want to follow the trends, and we want to empower more the digital marketing overall knowledge. So that means that we are creating reports, we are providing with data analytics to speakers on conferences, we are creating different content materials not related to essentially SEMrush and SEMrush products, but related to the industry overall. So we are part of this industry, and we are spreading the word of this industry into the offline world, for example, or into parallel industries. So we are working as a user-centered company, and we are empowering influencers with the data that we provide.
Absolutely. Also, a follow-up question, Fernando. Since SEMrush is itself an all-in-one marketing toolkit, so I'm curious to know, are there any other tools that you use to execute your marketing activities?
Oh yes, inside of the company.
Yeah.
So if you mean internally, we have several tools
Hmm.
that, of course, they work really well when you are creating an online strategy, right? For example, we used a lot Monday.com just to check the workflow, how our tasks are being completed, to see what other teams are doing. We use a lot of course. Salesforce as our main CRM to see how our customers are, how many times are using our software, to basically understand everything about our users. For data analysis, we are also using different big data services, for example, like Tableau. We
Hmm.
have a lot of that dashboards there that are integrated with our data. And of course, I just mentioned three, but we have, I believe, at least 10 or 20 more.
Right. Absolutely. One important question, Fernando, is that we are now in the phase of COVID-19. Economy is badly hit, businesses are badly hit. So, how, according to your thoughts, the process of marketing changed post COVID-19, which literally shocked the world? And what anomalies did you see at SEMrush?
Yeah, that's a great question, because we nobody was expecting that people are going to be at home all the time. So this quarantine was a surprise basically for everyone. If we took that into numbers, so we can compare that into some figures, we were not expecting to have so many people wanting to open their online businesses this year. Actually, the expectation was that in the next 5 years, some industries are going to be trying to develop their online presence. But it happened that in the last 3 months, basically all those 5 years were taken. So we have a lot of new users, a lot of new customers. We see also in the trends, in people's behavior, that they are basically looking to how to sell online, how to open an e-commerce businesses, and the trend has grown at least in 30 or 40% in most of the countries. So the interest is higher. The number of users that we have, for example, in 2019, we achieved 5 million users. in November. So in the next 5 months, we achieve 1 more million. That means that, okay, the online world is here. People are they want to build their online presence and they need tools. That's already a fact. And the things that has changed for us, for example, we need to be better. We need to provide more efficient services, with the meaning that we need to be more clear with the tools that we are providing, because at some moment, if someone is entering into SEMrush and they see that, okay, it's kind of complicated to use the interface, we are also making that more easy to use for a newcomer. So you don't need to be a professional to use these tools. You just need to use your own personal perspective and your own strategies. Then you can build everything. So those are the main things that are changing right now.
I agree with you, Fernando. In fact, with this situation when people are locked in their homes, so the very promising things that comes to our mind is to start up our own online business, which is at its peak right now. So
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. Also, can you tell us how important it is to have the ad content that is converting and relevant to users, or maybe some of the best practices for the same?
Yeah, if we're talking about ads, and that's my favorite topic, I will say that that's something that is working really well. At the
Mhm.
beginning of this COVID situation, there were many rumors that most of the companies, they are just cutting their expenditures on ads. But that's something that, okay, they were only rumors, because ads are really working, and actually there's more competitors there. There's more companies that are using ads, and if we're talking about ads, we're talking about also social ads, like for example, the Facebook ads that are working really well, and they are not that expensive. So in any case, if you want to build your online presence, you need to remember about the 80-20% rule. 80% of your time is promoting, and one of the channels for promoting your message, your products or services, is of course paid advertising, and ads definitely something that is working really well. The only thing that you need to take into account there is you need to have a really good product. You need to think about your message, and you need to think about the logistics. Everything else is going to be coming in time. So think about the message, think about the content, the service, the product that you're providing, and the logistics, how you're going to be delivering that product or service, how easy for the user to acquire that product or service is. My main suggestion here, and I remember I was in India at the beginning of this year. Actually, I was in Bangalore in February, and I was recommending to most of the business owners that I was visiting there, that
Mhm.
I was asking a question first. My first question was, how many of you, and I had around 100 business owners, e-commerce owners, how many of you recently have acquired or buy something from your own websites? And it was something really surprising, but I only saw one hand. The rest, they were like, no, during the last 3 months, I didn't use my service because it's mine, right? Yeah,
Right.
but that's the problem. People who are owning, who are working, who are part of a certain business, they need to try their own services, so they can understand the pains of the user in every single step. Maybe there are too many clicks. Maybe the message is not that clear. So as many times as you can acquire or buy something from your own store, you will see and you will check how easy for other people is to acquire something from you. So be the user first and try to make your company an user-centric company.
Wonderful, Fernando. That's such a useful information to our listeners, certainly. Moving ahead, how often do you think a company should work on PR and branding activities, especially when we talk about SaaS products? What should be the focus point here?
Yeah, I have an interesting opinion here because we faced the same question like 3 years ago. Because when you are establishing your brand, so you want to be remembered by the things that you are creating in every single industry. So you want to be an established brand, right? That's something really powerful, and that's something really difficult to achieve if you are not using PR promotion, for example, if you are not doing any branding campaigns or co-branding campaigns. So at that time, we saw that having a brand campaign working for us every single month is kind of expensive, but we need to start at some point. And we created a PR team inside of SEMrush. Right now, our PR team developed a lot. I can say that we have at least seven PR people, three data scientists that are working with material. And we have this as a process. For example, at least in SEMrush, we couldn't manage to have an entire PR team that is working with our branding, with our um, corporate branding as well, and they are creating campaigns in different ways. We are participating in awards. We are creating our own brand events. We are creating our tone of voice. For example, that's something that, well, 7 years ago, 10 years ago, was something that, okay, what is the tone of voice of SEMrush? Is casual, is formal, is junk, is more classic. So those are certain things that you need to develop when you are ready to do that. If you're not ready, you cannot answer to that. Forget about it. You need to think about other things. You need to think about traffic. You need to think about how to get more. In the case you want investors, more investors, more investment. But working with a PR strategy, that's something that you need to do, for example, as we do every single month with a team, internal or external. That's something fundamental for brand for the brand that you're working on.
All right, wonderful. And Fernando, any message that you would like to give to our audience, to all the marketers and learners in the world who look forward to their careers in the marketing industry?
Yes, actually, this is something that I'm thinking a lot during this pandemic situation, because before this situation, I was traveling to several countries. I actually was doing 3 countries per week, but during the last 3-4 months, I was spending my time basically only at home. I never been so long at home, so I was thinking a lot. And the thing is that I saw that in most of the countries, so basically in all our industry globally, there are 3 types of marketers. The first type of marketer are the ones who are just starting their careers, just trying to understand, to learn more about what is the purpose of SEO, how to do SEO. So they are the ones who are asking questions, right? And that's a really good position to be, because you can learn a lot of stuff. The
Right.
second type of marketers are the ones who are user centric. I can say I'm in that part right now because my main goal is to answer users' questions at the best the best possible way. Everything is about the user. We have really big meetings with more than 100 marketers in the company to say this is the persona that we are following, that we are sending our message. So the second type of marketers are user-centric marketers. But there is another type of marketers, and that's for high brands, for corporations. Those marketers are working with data. They are looking just to numbers. They're looking to user behavior. They are looking only to metrics because they have the data. So these marketers from companies like let's say Disney, Apple, Twitter, Facebook, they're just looking to numbers. So
Right.
and they are creating their own strategies based on numbers, because okay, we have 200,000 users that we can test this product. Let's do it, and let's see the number. Let's do the A/B testing. Let's create everything. So with these three types of marketers, I can say that things are not going to change in the recent future. Everything still is about the user. No matter if you are a beginner, no matter if you are the second type of marketing who is thinking about the user, or if you are the third type of marketers that are working with big data and automating that with machine learning, for example. If you are a digital marketing, the whole thing is not about your product, it's not about your service, it's about the user.
Perfect. I agree with you. Thank you so much, Fernando, for joining the show today, and cheers to this wonderful discussion with you. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to podcast episode 23 with Fernando Angulo, Head of Communications at SEMrush. Thank you so much, Fernando.
Thank you. It was a great conversation. Bye.